Ugh, ugh, this bright. What is this light? What, what's going on? Not to worry. What do you mean? We're going to take good care of you. Uh, oh. Hello, plant community. Thanks for tuning in to this channel. My name is Pam, and welcome everyone to the Plant Triage, where we're giving each other an opportunity to discuss a plant in hopes of changing the outcome from drab to healthy and thriving. And today's patient today is actually a plant that I have that I wanted to actually take this opportunity to share with you, point out what's going on with my plant, and also talk about factors. And I'm hoping that you guys will actually chime in to perhaps help me with this plant so that it can get out of its situation and actually become a healthier plant. I'm also talking about it because I feel like with this particular genus of this plant that I may not be alone with what I've been experiencing with this plant. So I want to bring you guys along. If you're interested in stuff like this, please show your support by giving thumbs up and remember to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're also interested in actually bringing your plant patient here to the triage, you can send me a message on Instagram. Show me at least one to no more than two plants that you may have that's ailing. Please, you can provide me with as many pictures of your ailing plant um, that you feel that will be beneficial to us. Give me your name, where you're growing your plant, baby, what part of the world you're growing your plant, baby. Please share important details that will help us hone in on to what the issue possibly could be, such as your lighting condition, soil, how often you water it, anything that you can provide for us to have a conversation and have a proper diagnosis for the plant. So today's featured patient, you guys, is actually going to be my jungle boogie. I've had this plant for a couple of years now, and I don't talk much about it because I do love this plant for many reasons, because of the structure of the leaves, the way that it grows. I think is very different and very unique. But I'm going to show you guys a picture of, before I show y'all the actual plant now, because I did make some changes, but let's put up the photo, you guys, so you can actually take a look at it. Now, my jungle boogie, I don't know if you guys have actually had issues with it, but I've been struggling with these brown spots, or these spots that are on my jungle boogie. Now, I've heard that they can be common, but for me with this plant, it's just completely getting very overwhelmed, and I just want to try to find out what is the cause of these brown spots. Now, there are several factors, so we're going to kind of like review the factors, and I'll talk a little bit about what things I have done thus far. And I encourage you guys to comment below and share your feedback so I can get my plant looking into a more healthier state. Now, before we go into what factors it could possibly be, um, I want to take the opportunity to encourage you guys, and also myself. We want to ask certain questions. So, are these brown spots, are they isolated or clustered? Do they have defined edges or possibly fuzzy borders? Are they accompanied by other symptoms like leaf distortion, wilting, or any pests perhaps? These are the things that I asked myself as I kind of went into actually examining this plant. Now, I did realize after researching that there can be a plethora of factors that's causing this, and I want to talk about it now. So the first one is a possible overwatering. If the leaf spots are brown and mushy spots with yellowing, that is an indicator that I could be overwatering this plant. And one way to fix this issue would be for me to hold off on watering a bit and make sure that the soil has proper drainage. I do know that it's very important to add amendments to your soil if the soil is too dense, and these amendments could range from perlite to bark, possible pumice as well. And in my case, I have leca balls. You don't need all of these things, of course, but if you have one or the other, we can add a healthy dose to make sure that the aeration of the soil. I don't believe in my case that that is the issue, because I do very well with maintaining aeration in my soil, and I do so because I know that I can be a heavy water when I do water, and I want the soil to not be dense and to be waterlogged. So I don't think that's the issue. Another thing too that I don't believe is an overwatering issue is because I have my jungle boogie is sitting right here and I'm looking at it. That's why if you see my head go down, I'm looking at it as I reference to it. Is that I have it currently potted up in a terracotta pot. You know, it's a porous pot, so it's actually pulling moisture away as well. That in the combination of me having an aerated soil, I don't think it is staying wet too long. Now, another issue which goes into another factor to consider could possibly be underwatering, which would be an indicator of underwater, would be dry, crispy brown spots that often appear along the edge of the leaf. So if that is the case, which I don't believe it is with my plant, you then want to bump up your watering schedule, but still be mindful of to water the soil only when it is dry. Another issue could actually be sun factor to consider would be sunburn. That's when you have large bleached out brown spots on my plant. And let's pull up the photo again. If you look at my philodendron jungle boogie from the photo, you guys, the leaves does not look bleached out. So I'm not really sure. I don't think that it has anything to do with it being sunburned. Now, although be it is at a southwest or southeast facing window, and I have it sitting below the window, so it's not like up in the window where it's getting that direct. It's more of a indirect type of thing. So I don't think it is being bleached out because I'm not seeing the color of the leaves distorted in any way. So I don't, not 100% sure if it's a sunburn situation. Okay, now factor number 4, it could be actually a nutrient deficiency. So lack of magnesium or potassium can cause brown spots. So one way to remedy that would be a well-balanced fertilizer. Now, right now, I am using Captain Jack's with all my plants, and it is a well-balanced fertilizer 2020, but I also realize that sometimes it could need an extra boost in the magnesium or potassium in order to make sure that the plant has the nutrients that it needs. So that could be a possibility, and I'll jump into what I've actually done to remedy that. I'm actually going to show y'all what I have changed a little bit. So I am still using my Captain Jacks, but I've been also using extra magnesium and calcium actually in my water when I water this plant. And I'm using CalMag. It is complete double strength. It's just extra for calcium and magnesium. And what I've been doing, I've been using just 1 cap of this in a gallon of water. And as you can see, it's very low. So I don't think it's not impacting with or reacting to my Captain Jacks. It's just what I've been using as an amendment just to see if that's the possibility. I'm kind of thinking that it could be, not quite sure. Another factor, you guys, could actually be pests. Common pests is what I'm known for jungle boogie to have, could possibly be scale and mealybugs. And I believe one time I brought these spots up with my jungle boogie before on another episode, and some of you guys gave me feedback that it could be a possible scale you know, type of issue going on. But I do know that with scale, it could be not only leave brown spots, but it could also be sticky residue. And so with close inspection of my plant, I did not see any floral nectaries, any stickiness going on. I didn't feel any of that on any form of the leaf. So I'm not sure. I don't think it was really a pest. issue. Plus, I do have a habit of spraying my plants down constantly, trying to, clean my plants so I don't think, and I also look at my plants too often, honestly, to see. I never had an issue with mealybugs with this plant, so I don't think it's um, a pest issue. At least I hope it's not. And then factor number 6 could be fungal or bacterial infection, which I'm kind of like leaning a little bit more on that. And I want to look, you know that it's fungal or bacterial type of infection if you want to look for fuzzy or raised edges on the spots and yellowing around it. Now, I can feel by feeling the leaf, if the spots on it feel raised. They're not really fuzzy, but raised edges on there, which is giving me some type of a thought that maybe that could be what it is. So my remedy for that, and I'll talk a little bit about that when I show you what the plant is looking like now. Now, there are some solutions that we can do to try to control it, maybe not get rid of it all the way, but somewhat control these spots. So if you think it is some type of a fungal and bacterial infection and things like that, one of the things we definitely want to do is we want to isolate the plant. We want to keep this plant separate from the plants that we have while we are treating them. Now, granted, in a realistic world, if we have a small collection, say 4 or 5 plants, it's very easy to do. In my case, like I said, I have a collection that's well over 200 at this point, and I can't isolate this plant no matter where I try to put it because it's always going to be near another plant. So one of you guys did suggest in a video that I did, which I thought was also very beneficial, is actually taking my plant and putting it into a tub. So I could actually do that, put it in there and keep it closed up and contained. Now, I would do that if I honestly felt that it was some kind of disease, something where it was going to spread along my other plants. But I don't really have any concerns with that for me, with my plant collections. Honestly, since I've had this jungle boogie, I've had the issue with the these spots on it. And actually, my very first one, I think I had got rid of and brought another one, and lo and behold, here they are again. But I've never seen it, and I have it sitting, it's always been sitting in my sunroom. I've never seen it go on any other plant, to be honest with you. So I don't think it's going to be a spreading type thing. So I really haven't isolated it. That doesn't mean that that is the right thing to do. It's just that what I've decided to made a conscious decision to not do, considering my situation. So I'm not really recommending you guys to do what I'm doing. I just haven't seen any issues with it spreading to any other plant. So I'm okay with that. But if you are seeing that, I'd recommend a clear tub if you have a large collection, or possibly just moving it and isolating it from the rest of your collection if it's a small collection and you're able to move it about. Now, also, too, another tip or solution. Now, when we care for our plants in general, we want to also, of course, maintain the healthiness of the plant. So, of course, to make sure that that is going on, we want to have adequate lighting, proper watering, good drainage to encourage healthy growth with hopes of preventing future issues. I think I have my plant, honestly, in a good situation. Is getting enough light. Is definitely having drainage, good drainage. I'm not watering it that often. I make sure all my plants kind of like dry out, but not to the point where leaves are crispy. I really haven't had any experience with crispy leaves in regards to this plant, so I think I'm good there. Cleanliness also is key. We want to remember to regularly wipe down the leaves. I try not to. I know I said earlier that I do spray my plants down. Out of habit, I do that for a lot of my plants. I know that I don't think Jungle Boogie is the plant to do the spray. So instead of spraying my plant down, because the leaves are not so many of them, I am wiping it down with remember to use a damp cloth to remove any dust and debris, because these things can attract pests and perhaps worsen or any infections that the plant may have. Now, once the cause has been identified, then that will help me decide what best course of action to take. So this is what I have done. As I shared with y'all, I've been using this as an extra amendment and to provide extra nutrients to the plant. I also I cut my plant back a little bit. I cut what I could, but I kept some of the leaves. You know, they say, okay, you could cut the affected leaves, but honestly, I had the spots on all the leaves, and I could not realistically actually do that. I would have had no leaves on the plant. So I cut a lot of the leaves that was heavily congested with that. And then the leaves that I did have left, I wiped them clean, and I actually put neem oil, and I actually rubbed the actual neem oil on each leaf, the top and the bottom. And this is what we're working with. I'm just going to show you guys what my plant looks like now. It is nowhere, and if let's look at the photo once again. As you can see, it's way fuller than what it is now. I did a lot of chop back. I think the camera probably is picking up. I want to show you an example like this one. I probably could have cut the leaf, but I just did not want to, because it's paying me really to cut a lot of the leaves off, because without the spots, the plant leaf itself looks extremely healthy, which is like a catch-22. But I want to share with you, since I made the changes, and please, you guys, comment below. Let's have a conversation, because I could be not considering something else in the midst of it. But this leaf right here is the latest leaf, and I've been watching this leaf. I wanted to see if it was going to spread. I just want to do a comparison. You see how, I don't know, is the camera picking it up? It looked like it's not, but maybe it is. You see it has a lot of spots. I'm looking at it. This one has a lot of the leaf spot, and doesn't feel raised like it used to after I put the neem oil. But I also had neem oil on this leaf right here. This is the latest leaf, and it's been unfurled for a long period of time now. As you can see right here, it has the leaf spot right here. But what I've noticed is the rest of the leaf, you guys, if you look at it, does not have any spots. And I find that quite interesting, honestly, because I do know that this leaf has been unfurled for quite some time. And traditionally, the habit is this leaf would have looked like this one already. I know that to be a fact. So the fact that it has not really had that much leafing, for the most part, the main infected area is actually right here. But the majority of the leaf, you guys, as you can see, does not have this spot. And I don't know, it could be the neem oil thing that's actually working, as well as my CalMag. Another way to test that out, and I can't wait to actually see if that is the case. I will keep using it if that is the case. But I do have this new growth growing right here, and it's a leaf. As you can see, the tip is just coming out. So I'm kind of super excited to see this one emerge. And if I see that this leaf does look similar to this, then I may have solved the issue. And hopefully moving forward, as this plant grows more and more, I'm not sure if I will be willing to just cut these off, and I'm starting the plant all over. But I don't know. I didn't cut these other leaves off, even though, let's see, they had some spots on it. I'm looking at it right now, but not as spotty. At best, these leaves that I left on here had the least amount of spots. It was something that I could deal with. At best, if anything, I probably would cut this leaf off, because this has the most spots on it, as well as this. But I didn't want to do that until I get more leaf to grow out of here. But again, I don't know. I know it's a common thing with Jungle Boogie. They can have some spots, and I'm okay with spots being sparingly, a spot here and there. Of course, we can't do anything. We're not going to have that perfect, beautiful plant each and every time, and I'm okay with that. I just had an issue with it just being completely all over the leaf, and it took away from the look, and it was bothering me. So I'm hoping, even if the leaves are like this, I'll be okay. I can deal with that. I just want it, because some people be having some of the most beautiful Jungle Boogies, and I just want to have that. So yeah, please share below, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on the Jungle Boogie. If I could do anything else to make sure that I'm getting it out of that unhealthy look phase into a more beautiful, lush plant, healthier plant, so to speak. So yeah, uh, that ends this video, you guys. Keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do, you love listening to planty things and doing planty things, this is the place to be. Remember to subscribe, push those thumbs up. It helps the channel. Like I said, I appreciate any and all support you guys give me, whether it's a comment of encouragement, just talking with you guys, all of it. I love it all. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world. And until next time, guys, I'll see you next on the next plant triage. Hopefully you guys will be there too. Bye.